Hi, today I just wanted to talk to you about varnishing. It's a question I get asked quite a lot, um, and I'll really all I'm going to do is just explain to you how I do it and why. Um, I think we quite often see videos on Instagram and things where the varnish is poured onto a flat painting that's sort of sat horizontally. Um, uh, I don't do that. As you can see, this one here is now prepped for its last coat of varnish, and it's in the sort of near upright position. And the reason I don't do it flat is because I I found that with larger works in particular, you can end up with bits of pooling of the varnish. It doesn't dry quite evenly. So that's why I do it this way. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with um, how other people do it. If it works for them, it works for them, and they should continue doing it. I'm just explaining why. For me, I tend to do it in the sort of the upright position. The other thing, and again to stop the pooling, is that rather than pour it onto the canvas and spread it out, I tend to use a brush dipped into. In this case, it's just an old Tupperware thing that I'm going to put the varnish into in a minute. And I just use that to thinly apply a thin layer of varnish. My experience is that sort of 2 or 3 thin layers work really well. You don't get much in the way of streaking. You can see straight away if there are going to be any issues, rather than if it's a bit more, if the varnish is applied a bit more thickly, sometimes it's hard to see where you might get a little bit of pooling or whatever. So that's the reason I do it this way, applying it from a container with a brush and with an upright or nearly upright canvas. Plenty of options out there for varnishing. I tend to use a satin varnish rather than a gloss. Either will work well, but I just think it gives quite a nice sort of even sheen. I suppose we could sort of ask, well, why do we varnish at all? And the first, I guess, and perhaps most obvious reason is it helps protect the canvas. But particularly with things like with oils, oil paints, you sometimes get areas which are a bit kind of flat and areas which are a bit glossier. So it just evens out the whole painting and it gives quite a nice finish. So I think it's definitely worth doing. I have sold work unvarnished. It's just ended up looking pretty even anyway, and the person who did for the commission, who wanted the commission, was keen to have it. So I have done that. But generally, I would look to varnish a piece of work, particularly the larger canvases. Pardon me. So that's the way I tend to do it. A lot of varnishes do need to be, well, not a lot. Some varnishes do need to be mixed, and you just need to make sure that it's evenly distributed in the bottle. Just give it a quick shake, and just put a little bit in the container. We don't need too much. We can always put more in. And just a little bit of varnish in the container. I'll get that on the brush in a minute, and it'll only take 5-10 minutes, and that'll be its last layer of varnish. The sort of varnish I use touch dry really within a few hours, so you can then move it around. Just they say 24 hours to let it harden off, which is probably about right. But yeah, so that's varnishing. If you have any questions or comments, or you disagree with what I'm saying, it's there's a 1,001 ways to do things. Please drop in a comment, and I'd love to hear from you. Cheers for now. Bye.